New year, new opportunities. But with the Eurozone in crisis, China's economy slowing, and Iran now rattling its sabers in the Middle East, where is the best place to invest? Well, veteran investor Jim Rodger joins us now from Singapore. First of all, Jim, Happy New Year. And what a way to start. We've got fresh tension between Iran and the West. Is this going to be a major factor for all markets this year, including oil prices?
Of course it is, Tara. I mean, we have huge tensions everywhere. We're going to have more social unrest. We're going to have more governments fail, more countries fail. When you have that kind of environment, it frequently leads to war or tensions between other countries. No, be very, very careful, Tara.
How would you play out that story if there is any way to? Is it simply buy oil, or which commodity looks like the best pick going into 2012?
Well, I'll tell you how I'm positioned. I mean, you can watch Thomson Reuters to learn what the smart thing to do is. But what I've done, I own commodities, especially agriculture, and I'm short stocks. If we start having problems in the world, I assure you stocks are going to go down and commodities will go up. I don't own commodities because there's going to be war or more social unrest, but the description you just made, Tara, is good for my portfolio. I didn't buy it because of your description, but that's where my portfolio is. I'm short stocks and long commodities.
Okay, long commodities, but what about gold? Does that count? Because it's fallen nearly 20% from its September 2011 peak. Are you a buyer at the current price for gold?
Well, I bought a little bit last week, just a little bit, because there was an opportunity. But no, I own gold, I own silver. I'm not selling either, Tara. If gold goes to 1,200, say, I hope that I'm smart enough to buy a lot more gold. That's not a prediction, but it's not a surprise, Tara. I mean, most assets correct 30 or 40% during the course of any year or two. Gold hasn't had a serious correction in a long time. It's up 11 years in a row. That's extremely unusual for any asset. So gold is due for a nice correction. I hope it has it. I hope I'm smart enough to buy more.
What else would you be buying if we take a look at the Eurozone? It's a grim beginning for the Eurozone in 2012. Is it curtains for the Euro this year?
Maybe this year. Well, not this year, not for the Euro. And by the way, I own the Euro. I was most delighted to see this morning in the press that there's a huge short position. All the hedge funds are now short the Euro. I was actually thinking about selling some of my Euros. Now I'm thinking about buying more Euros. In my view, there was going to be a lot of currency turmoil this year, more currency turmoil, I should say, including with the Euro, or maybe because of the Euro. The Indian rupee's got its own problems. There are plenty of currencies that will have problems. But I'm not selling my Euros yet. I sold some a few weeks ago. I will probably buy more before I sell again.
What other currencies will you be buying as well?
Well, the U.S. dollar, believe it or not, I still own some U.S. dollars that I bought a year or so ago. With currency turmoil, Tara, many people flock to the U.S. dollar. It's not the right thing to do if you ask me, but they don't know any better. So I own U.S. dollars. It's a horribly flawed currency. If it continues to rally, which I hope it does, I suspect it will, somewhere along the line in the next month or year or two, I'll have to sell my U.S. dollars. But that's the other place that I, anyway, am thinking about buying more of.
Getting back to the Eurozone, do you think it's doomed, or what would smart money be shorting right now in terms of Euro assets if you do think it's doomed?
Well, if it's doomed, if it's doomed, then you short the Euro and you short European stocks. I am short European stocks. I am long the Euro. As I said before, I guess the best thing to do would be to short anything financial in Europe. I wouldn't short bonds because they're already down a great deal, but you could short the Euro, or you could short European stocks. I am short one and long the other.
I've heard a few people say, like, now is a good time to get into cheap European equities, such as Italian stocks. Would you not venture in there at all?
Well, Tara, not me, because it takes a lot of work, and I'm too lazy to, but I assure you, you are exactly right. If you went in there and got involved with some of the European stocks, or banks especially, which have been beaten down, you're going to make an absolute fortune. It takes a lot of work, and you can't just buy them across the board. But whenever there's a crisis like this, The people who've got this good sense and the time and the brains to go in there, find the jewels, and they come out 2 or 3 or 5 years later terribly rich. You know, in the 1930s, there were some Americans who laid the basis for huge fortunes by doing exactly what you said. They went in, they found the great investments, they bought them, and 20, 30, 40 years later, they were extremely rich.
And just a quick one, because we can't go without talking about the U.S. Goldman's Jim O'Neill told us last week that U.S. stocks may rally by as much as 20% this year. Is he dreaming, or would you agree with that?
Well, that's not, I mean, most assets fluctuate at least 20% high to low in any particular year. Tara, remember, there's an election in the United States this year. Huge amounts of money are going to be spent by the government. So a lot of sectors of the American economy are going to be much better off, and their friends are going to be much better off. So sure, it's not inconceivable to me at all. I don't know if across the board stocks would go up 20%, but every year, every company, every asset has a range of 20 or 30%. Just that's the way things work. So it's not strange, especially with an election coming. Bernanke's going to print a lot of money. The government's going to spend a lot of money. But Tara, be very, very worried about 2013.
Well, it's only early
January. It's going to be a mess.
2013, all right. So gloom and doom, even at the beginning of 2012. Jim Rogers, we're going to leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining me. I'm Tara Joseph. You're watching Reuters.